Was out on the pool with the kiddos today. So out here in sunny South Florida, it is hot. I ain't gonna lie. It is very, very hot. Awesome. Yeah, no trades. Yeah, man. Neither well, I take it back. I was out on the pool with the kiddos today. So there we go. I did take one trade today. But it was kind of like not even in my opinion, wasn't even like a real trade. So no worries. All right. So we're good on YouTube. And hold on. Oh. Cool. All right. We're good to go. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, it's heating up. I bet, bro. I bet. All right, hold on. Where is my next share? Let's do this. Bam. All right. Yeah. It is getting pretty warm. I'll tell you what, it's especially where I live, the humidity is really popping. So, pool times in the afternoon are going to be full effect. And I'm probably only going to be able to get really decent pool time probably for another maybe 3 to 4 weeks, and then the pool water is just going to be way too hot. And it's sad, but you gotta like almost dump ice cubes in your pool to keep it cool. Otherwise, it's bath water. So, but yeah, let's jump into it. And hold on, let us get on Safari. I'll take off that. Boom. All right, man, we're golden. So welcome everybody. Let's dive into it. We'll do a little recap from last week. I'll tell you, last week was kind of a dud. I only took 2 trades. Switched to ice baths, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Trust me, it's definitely something I'm potentially going to be doing, especially when I get back from like the gym, man. It gets just so flipping hot. But all right, let's dive into it. So I had a couple break evens last week, and I'll kind of go over just a quick recap. Nothing really has changed for any of the positions I'm still holding. Chef JPY, I'm still holding these lower orders from down here. Yeah, I'm still holding this order from down here. Nothing really I'm planning on doing other than trying to catch another entry off of. So you can kind of see what we've done. I want to say bro, Zoom is doing something to these Zoom always acts up on TradingView. It happened this morning when I was on a Zoom call this morning, and now it's doing the same shenanigans. All right, give it a second here. Hold on. For the love, man. All right, hold on. Let me give me one sec. Let me get out of TradingView. Let me go back into TradingView. Dude, this is getting annoying, and it's something with Zoom. Like it is something with Zoom because it only happens when I'm on Zoom. All right, hold on. Let's try this again. All right, hold on. What's up, Sango, bro? How you doing, man? All right, so let me stretch this bad boy out. There we go. Okay. All right, so let's get back into it. I'll stay out of night mode. We'll see if that kind of plays nice. Yeah, how's the weather down there, bro? Because you guys are on the flip side of us, so you guys should be cooler, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So real quick, let's dive into it. We're going to down the list. 15 degrees Celsius. Yeah. Dude. Yeah, that was funny. All right. Yeah, man. It's always something, man. Always something. Yeah. So GN. Yeah, I'm still, dude. I'll be honest. Like we'll look at it, but I'm still looking for GN to come lower. we'll see. We'll talk about it. I got my eyes on GN. All right. So from a Chef JPY standpoint, and let's see, what color do I want to go with? Blue? How's that look? Blue? Yeah, blue looks good. All right. So Chef JPY, this right now is what's maintaining lower time frame structure, right? Nothing's changed on the intraday, right? And on the higher time frame, we're still bullish. Nothing has changed. So coming out of this reaccumulation, what I'm looking for, and you can see we tapped right into it. We had a really nice accumulation that tapped into demand right here. And that has caused what? That has caused a boof. All right. It's not a break of structure, right? We haven't made a new high. GJ, I told you this morning, bro. I told you this morning I wasn't gonna try and sell it. So yeah, no worries, man. No worries. So we did get a boof, right? So this area of demand was successful in the aspect that it did create that, right? So now what I am personally looking at is I see this as my slingshot candle that created the boof, and this accumulation right here with the spring is the origination of that leg, right? So it's simply just order flow at this point. So for me, there is one of my rules is I don't put limit orders on order flow, right? It's got to be structure only. So we at this point now, if we were to break the high that's up here, right, then this would become a limit order for me. But you don't necessarily need to trade my rules, right? If you've back tested and you have an acceptable tolerance for whatever, however you want to trade. That's why for me, I can't. How many times have you heard me say back test and journal, right? The secret to success: back test and journal. So for my rules, I can't put a limit order on this. Okay. But what I can do is I can wait for a lower time frame schematic to print in either of these 2 points, right? So you could see I have my alert right here. If we do trade down in here and give a schematic, then absolutely, I would gladly take it up from this slingshot. And if not, I want us to come into this accumulation down here. All right. It's pretty self-explanatory. All right. So, and you could see clean schematic right here, right? This is our trading range. This is your SC, your ST, your ST, and then your spring, which makes this the STB. Spring break structure. From there does a reaccumulation. From there does a reaccumulation. This is the reaccumulation that creates the boof, right? So cause and effect. This is where I want to see an accumulation, or I want us to come into this area right here, this box right here, all right? Because this is the spring, all right? So essentially anything right in this green box is fair game for me, all right? So I'm looking still for bullish momentum on Chef JPY. It has not disappointed. I'm still happy with the profits I've been taking on it. And coincidentally, 2 out of the 3 brokers that I have this holding on, because I'm not holding it on FTMO, but the other 2 brokers that I do have are paying positive swap. So I'm actually making money. By holding my longs. So could you show the leg? Which leg? Which leg do you want to see? What's going on? Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Yeah. Hold on. Hi, thanks for one more trade class. Forex pairs are so consolidated. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean they have been. We haven't seen really a lot of stuff going on. The one that you need to break before you could say, oh yeah. So all right. So we need to break this high right here. Right. So because right now this is what's maintaining lower time frame. And if we break this high right here, then this is now what's maintaining lower time frame. Right. Okay. So yeah. Doesn't mean I can't take an entry out of it. I just can't set a limit on it. All right. Because it is strictly just order flow. And everyone knows by now, at least you should know my stance on order flow. So yeah. It's all good. Actually, no, 457, right? Where is it at? Hold on. Where's she at? 457. 3 keys, right? There you go. 457. Yep, absolutely. All right. So Chef JPY is pretty simple. Like I said, I got my alert sitting right above 121,900. Depending on when we get in there, obviously, like getting in here during a London, New York session would be ideal for me. Um, I personally won't be looking at it while I'm sleeping. So if it happens during Asian, oh well. But I would really like for us to come down into this area, Um, if we don't, because we want, realistically, we want to maintain order flow. So, from a simple order flow standpoint, if we do give the accumulation here, this would be just the continuation move to go higher, right? So I'm perfectly fine with it. It's just going to be a timing issue, So that's Chef JPY. EJ, listen, EJ is doing EJ stuff, man. I I wanted us to come lower, and we're just not getting in there. Let me see where my markings are. Here's my markings. Yeah. So you can see we had a redistro here that I was hoping was just going to force this down into my box for accumulation. We did break lower time frame structure. Um, and I was really hoping we were going to get down here. We didn't. So do I only set limit orders when I come into the extreme of the leg? Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's only yeah, I don't set limit orders off with a slingshot. I require schematics in there. Unless the slingshot is just going to be um yeah, I mean, the easy answer is only in the extremes. Yeah, I have conditions when I will set limits on slingshots, but that's like a 4-hour video. So, yeah, it's for me it's not all black and white. Like I don't have, and most of you guys know like how I trade. I've got I don't know, I've got a rule for everything. So it's just one of those that comes with experience and back testing that, I can't just say, okay, yeah, put the limit order on the slingshot. Like some conditions have to be met for me to do that. Um, so correct. Yeah. 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 It's 95% of the time I'd say it's a reaccumulation. Sometimes it's not, but for the most part, it's a reaccumulation. So yeah. All right. So I was looking for this buy out of here. You can kind of see what happened, right? So this morning's price action, right? We had was it 5 minute? Let me see, 5 minute. Yeah. Okay. So we had a really nice, from last Friday's price action, we had a really nice redistribution that ended up taking out, right? So my key is coming out of this reaccumulation here. So what do you have? You have a preliminary supply, right? You have your distribution here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drives. Distribution was unable to really get any downward momentum, right? So I was looking for this as a reaccumulation. What I was waiting for this morning was I wanted supply, i.e., this area right here. I wanted this to get invalidated. So we did get that, which is great. So we have now invalidated the redistribution. And what I now want to see is I want to see if we can, and ideally you could see my alert in here. I want to see if we can build a schematic in here to take this higher, right? Because this would be what is ultimately maintaining order flow at this point, right? Um, so if we can get, or at least if I can see tomorrow morning for me, if I could see an accumulation in here, I would love to take this higher. Okay. If I don't get the reaccumulation from there, all right, I would be looking pretty much down in this area down here, right? And this last push down is what I want to see. But I kind of want to have us maintain the order flow, right? Otherwise, I want to see this turn into just a larger schematic, maybe something like on a 15-minute, 20 minutes, something like that. All right. But yeah, I'm still bullish. Nothing has changed on EJ for me. I mean, if you look at the larger time frame, yeah, you can see right here. Ideally, all we're doing is we're coming into, this is the extreme of the leg right here that did this push. So, and what did we do? Well, we traded into the slingshot area. We did trade below it. But what I'm guessing is they wanted to come in and mitigate out of this accumulation that happened, or this reaccumulation that occurred in here. What you want to see before I look for sells? Oh, hold on. The dogs are going crazy. All right, sorry. The farmhouse went crazy. What do I need to say? Oh yeah, listen, for me to get into for me to close out, right? For me to close out of this buy right here, we need to break this right here. We would need to break this low right here. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're a ways from that. We're like 200 and some pips away. So yeah. I'm not anytime soon am I looking for sells on this. I'm just going to be waiting for the buys. So, but yeah, if we get that, essentially, if we get this during London, I don't like this, that it's coming down now. I'm really not interested in trying to trade it during Asian. So, it is what it is. So that's EJ. EU, listen, EU, I'm just sitting on my hands. EU's like kind of in the middle of no man's land for me. So you can see that we did have a type 2 distribution confirmed. I'm looking for one of two things, right? I'm looking for an accumulation in here because this is that leg, right? This is the intraday leg. This is what's maintaining bullishness on the intraday side. So if we come into this accumulation, I'll look for a buy, or I need to confirm a reaccumulation, which would be jump of the creek and a break of structure, right? So if I get that jack and the BOS, then I'll confirm a reaccumulation, and then you can see my arrow. I'll wait for either if this is what causes that, this will be the slingshot, and otherwise out of this accumulation that occurred, these are the 2 points of interest that I'll have. If not, I want to come down here. So where we're currently sitting, it's literally in the middle of my range, right? Here's the range high, and here's our range low, and we're smack dab in the middle. So I don't trade in the middle of my ranges. So EU, essentially is just waiting on what's going to happen. I'm still favoring the buys. I still believe that this is going to turn into a reaccumulation. If we compare it with DXY, yeah, I mean, here we go, DXY. I talked about it this morning. So this box, I put this box last week coming out of this distribution, and sure enough, we got a distribution out of it. So at this point, I just want to confirm that we get a failed accumulation via a redistribution, right? Break through the ice, right? A break of the ice and a break of structure would confirm this failed accumulation. So I'm still looking for this to come down. It does have some mitigation. Obviously, if it comes back up into this distribution, could then make the next leg down. I'm not interested in trying to take the counter trend move. Didn't we break the leg? Break the leg on which one? On EU? Yeah, break the leg on which one? All right, no worries. Yeah, for me, we didn't break any leg. All we did was break the lower time frame. All right, this is all we've done on EU is broken lower time frame structure. Right, that was it. So this is still, for me, this is what's maintaining right here. So, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're still within the intraday leg, So I'm personally not interested in trying to sell it, especially especially since I'm still holding my buy. I tried to get the hedge in, and we missed it, or at least I missed it by, I think, like a pip or something like that up in here. So from this point, I'm just going to be waiting to see if we get that reaccumulation, and if we don't get the reaccumulation, I'm going to wait for that accumulation right in here. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on. Yeah, so I'm still holding. I'm actually still holding my buy on EU from this area right here. I've taken the 3 partials I was going to secure. For now, what I'm holding is in case I do want to get into a hedge sell, at least it'll be there. And if not, we'll see how it goes. Did you already look at CAJ? No, I haven't looked at CAJ yet. Nope. So the other one is pound CHF. So pound CHF, I'm still holding. I am looking to add another position. So, you know, obviously we are, right? This was the maintain the intraday leg. We came into the extreme of the leg. We had a really nice schematic right in here. You can see the multiple drives, STB. This is the spring breaks. We break structure outside. End up doing a type 2 schematic inside of our slingshot. And from there, what do we do? Well, we created a break of order flow. All right. So on that intraday time frame, you could see this is that type 1 or type 2 schematic that broke order flow. We respected the schematic that's in here. It was a really nice schematic that you could see the type 1 right here. You could see the type 1. We respected it, came into the extreme of it, and ultimately from there, we created another schematic in here. All right. So ideally, what I'm looking for is I'm looking to potentially get into a buy out of this area, right? Here's our demand zone. Okay, we tapped right into it. Let's see, is it possible to revise EJ? All right, so wait a minute. Is it possible? Why did the most recent redistro fail? If it did a break of structure taking out the previous low, hold on, from May 27th. May 27th. Let's see. Hold on. So what are you talking about here? All right. So you're talking about this low right here. So, yep. Yeah. So this redistro pushed down and broke lower time frame structure. That's all it was. So from an intraday perspective, right? From an intraday, this right down here is your intraday leg. All right. This is what's maintaining the intraday. So yeah, for me, we've invalidated the slingshot that broke structure on the lower time frame. So if it is going to complete a distribution, it's got to come up into the extreme of the leg, which is way up here, right? That's the lower time frame leg. So what's maintaining lower time frame structure? It's this high right here is what's maintaining lower time frame. So the redistro would only be valid if it broke the intraday low. The redistro, what do you mean the redistro would only be valid? Like to try to sell it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have to try to explain to me, like, what do you mean by validity? When you were going over that redistro, you said that it is invalid because it did, wait. Yeah, the redistro is invalid now. Absolutely. Yeah, because of this right here. The redistro is invalid because of this. Right? Because we did a redistro. The redistribution created an accumulation into a reaccumulation. The reaccumulation took out supply right here. So we invalidated this redistribution with this move right here. Why is the second break of structure isn't, wait, why isn't the second break, what second break of structure? Yeah, which one? The 1 hour. The 1 hour. The 1 hour break of structure. All right. You're going to have to annotate on the screen and show me which one. On the 26th. On the 26th. So you're talking about this right here? Yeah, this is the break of structure. It's the lower time frame break of structure. Yeah. Right. So this right here is a break of structure. It's the lower time frame break of structure. Right. So from a lower time frame perspective, what do? We came here, we made a new high. So we did this. We came here, made a new high, came here, right? So this is what's maintaining structure. Right? This is what's maintaining lower time frame structure. We broke that to the upside. I have no idea what that means. Well, why isn't this break of structure validating that redistro? Even if why isn't it? I'm not understanding what you're meaning by validating. It was a redistro. This was a redistro. We've now invalidated it because we traded above it. So the reason we've invalidated is we see that in this redistribution, sellers came into the market, right? They attempted the accumulation. Sellers came into the market right here in the shakeout. So if sellers came into the market to break structure, those sellers are no longer in the market when price trades above their sell positions. So this has essentially taken out supply. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So this for me was the slingshot area. We've invalidated supply. So now I'm looking for upside. Yeah. This to me was the key. This to me was the key. So yeah. Yeah. And as far as the break of structure, yeah, we did get a break of structure. We got a lower time frame break of structure. Right. This is what maintained lower time frame. This was that next leg push up. And we broke it. Yeah, absolutely. We broke it, but it's only lower time frame. Yeah. From the lower time frame. Wait, from the intraday perspective, lower time frame is yeah. It's the reaccumulation. Yeah, exactly. It's the continuation move. Leg was the extreme. Wait. Yeah, I thought the lower time frame leg was the extreme. You thought the lower time frame leg. So you're saying, yeah, I mean, this is the extreme of the lower time frame. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not. This was the lower time frame. It broke structure. Absolutely. Yeah. Am I going to go over GA? Yeah, I'm going to go over GA. Yeah. Yep. All right, hold on. Let me catch up here. What do you do? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah, man. Just find my 2 points of interest and wait for the schematic to play in there. Can we have a upthrust action almost lower or equal to an AR? The upthrust action has to be above the AR. That's what makes it the upthrust action. Yeah, and if you don't have an upthrust act, if you don't need an upthrust action in a schematic, right? You're just labeling it, just showing you buyer's intent to get the UA. That's all. In the case we have a failed accumulation. Wait, in this case, do we have a failed accumulation or a type of UA? Wait a minute. So if I have an AR and another drive back, but not higher than the AR, and the third drive did higher than both. All right. So yeah, if your third drive traded above the AR, then you have a break of structure. If one of the drives in between your selling climax and your if your selling climax in between your selling climax and your secondary test in phase B, if one of those traded below the climax, then yeah, you have a break of structure. So you potentially have a type 2. So BTC in a redistro, yeah, possibly. I honestly, I haven't margin traded, or I'm sorry, I haven't leverage traded on margin crypto yet this year. I've just been on the investment side doing like exchanges. So, all right, let's see. Yes, so it hit MIG, or it hit your stop there. Yeah. So my one recommendation or thing I would say to you is just I would backtest your tolerance level with setting lower time frame extreme limits. I personally don't, but if that's something that you found in your backtesting and your journaling that setting the lower time frame extreme works, then that's great. But for me, I don't set lower time frame extremes. I only do it on the intraday or the higher time frame. What's your criteria for what a slingshot is? Creates a new high or new low. That's pretty much it. Cause and effect. So higher time frame is bullish on EJ. Yeah, higher time frame and intraday is bullish. Lower time frame is bearish. Would you trade below that low above the extreme of the intraday leg to go higher? Would I trade below that low above the extreme? Above the extreme. You're talking about right here? This? Oh man, that's I mean, this is just something that I do, right? I mean, however, for me, I have a higher time frame leg, I have an intraday leg, and then I have a lower time frame leg. Um, yeah, it's that, yeah, just if you watch some of my videos on YouTube here, just jump onto the channel and you watch some of the videos. I kind of, you'll kind of pick it up on how I break it down. Yeah, I'm not interested in taking anything out of here though. All right. For me, this was the mitigation of that. So right now, I would want to see us come into this extreme. This was an accumulation that I'd like to get another accumulation if we come lower. So yeah, cool. All right, so let's go back to pound Swiss, right? So again, I'm looking for buys. I've been looking for buys on the pound pairs for a while. We did tap perfectly into that accumulation. And at this point, what I want to see, if you come down to the 1 minute, you'll see we had a schematic, right? We had a type 1. Timing really sucks on it, but we did have a type 1. We did break off of this type 1. I think I was looking at the 20-minute candle. Yeah, I was looking at this 20-minute candle. This is where 80% of that 20-minute candle sits. What is this 20-minute candle, bro? That's 8.5 pips. So this is potentially something, depending on when we get down here, that I would be interested in taking a limit off of. I want to see us stall a little bit, right? If we can stall during Asian, especially if we can do something like this, right? I would love for London to take out the Asian low, tap into this candle, and then rock it up. So that's kind of my thought process. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to set a limit order before I go to bed, but this is definitely something I am willing to take. All right, this is something I am watching. I do have my alert right here. And again, we did have a really clean schematic. I mean, we do have a 4-drive schematic, a nice spring. For me, the spring is the 20-minute candle. All right. And then of course, like upside potential, I'm looking to target, you know, obviously I'm looking to fulfill this schematic, right? We essentially have mitigated this demand point. I want to take it higher, exit our trading range, and trade up into this distribution that's sitting up here, right? I want to trade into this distribution that's sitting up here. And then from there, ideally, I'd love to see and I know I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I'd love to see, I don't have it marked off anymore on this one, but you could see we have a climax. Here's our trading range. We have a climax, a bunch of tests, another test, a test in B, and a spring. I would love for us to break this high, confirm this as our spring, come back down potentially into this reaccumulation for a test to then rock it up. All right. But that's something on the weekly. That's something that's going to probably take the rest of the year to do. So, for me on Pound Chef right now, I just want to get it up and out of the trading range that we're in right now. Above like 1.28200 is my target. So that's an easy, 150 pip move that I'd like to see happen. Yeah. And then the only other thing that I am looking at is, and I'll be looking at this more for tomorrow, is SPX. So we had a distribution. That distribution actually, hold on, let me go over to equities. That distribution confirmed a reaccumulation. So we have a reaccumulation that is confirmed, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 drives. We should have had a distribution out of here. This distro actually confirms a sign of strength, right? Which ultimately means that this is a reaccumulation. Well, inside of that reaccumulation, like what I really want to do is I want to get SPX down into this area right here for the buy. Okay. That's ultimately what I'm looking at. And then today we did get a pretty decent distribution in the making, right? You could see that we had, I think it was the 5 minute. Yeah, you could see this distribution here. Really nice distribution here on the 5 minute. We did break structure out of the schematic to confirm it. And then from there, as we traded into the UTAD, we had another distribution. So this is our UTAD. We had a really clean distribution here. This is the UTAD of the distribution with a micro distribution in there. I threw some money at it. My entry was this right here. On one of my accounts, I just took it. I'm at break even. So if it ends up breaking me out, no big deal. But it was a very, very, I have no drawdown. It came right into the 80% of the 116, which is what I was looking at this morning. Yeah, you can see this is why I was looking at the 116, because out of this distribution, this was the full, you don't get more of a full body candle than that. So this is what I saw. And yeah, I took that small little distro. I threw a couple bucks at it right out of here, just because we were hovering right around that 116 and we tapped right into it. So the UTAD for this was right into it. And at this point here, I was looking at for a re-entry, but I don't like to trade the indices outside of New York session. So, but I was looking at the 61 minute right here as potentially an entry. And, that kind of lines up pretty nicely with, what's it line up with? It kind of lines up with this area right in here that created the UTAD. So it looks like maybe the 2 or 3 minute candle. But for right now, like I said, I'm not interested in trying to trade indices outside of New York session. But we do have a potential for a short on SPX into our buy area. I'm more in favor of getting us into the buy area. I might put a reduced 6. Yeah. Yeah. So just if you guys want to take a look, this is, I'll show you the markup. I did the markup on the futures chart, but you could see the fractal distribution right in here. This was super clean. So this was the micro. And if you're saying to yourself, well, okay, hold on, where's your trading range? Well, this is the trading range right here. Okay. And like I say, 50% of the trading range, right? So hold on. 50% of the trading range. And sure enough, right, every push down trades to 50%, right? Trades to 50%. And then we get the UTAD. So my entry was actually right here at the open of the, essentially of the UTAD. So I think it was like the 30, hold on. I'll tell you right now. My entry was right there. Yeah, 2 minute open. So as price came into that 2 minute open and filled that imbalance, this was my entry right here. And it looks something like this. It was like a 1.5 with my spread. It was like a 1.5 point stop loss. So that was the entry right there that caught me. And I took it right off the 50% of the trading range. I'm not going to, I really wasn't trying to get a tight entry on this. This is just something I was like, all right, well, we're on a 15, 30 second schematic, I'll take it. So yeah, that's all she wrote. Yeah. No, it was super clean. And the key for me was this, man. You guys saw this morning, I was looking at that 116 from this morning and we tapped right into it. So as soon as I saw that we tapped into it and then had this reaction, I kind of just found a quick area to get into and that's all she wrote. So I didn't throw much at it though. Like I said, it was late in the day and I really didn't want to risk a lot. So that's the only thing I'm in and we'll go from there. We'll see how it goes. So that's everything I'm active in. Now what I'm looking at, right? We'll go down the list. What I am looking at. So Autocad, I know those of you guys in the Aporia group, like I dropped a message last, was it like Sunday or Friday, something like that. And I said, definitely go back and back test Autocad, right? So we came in and, this is something a couple of guys, you guys have known, we've been waiting for this move for a very, very long time. You know, actually since October, right? Since October. Yeah. Anything for GU? Yeah, I mean, GU is like EU. It's in the middle of the range. So, I mean, we'll cover it, but I'm not looking for any entry on it right now. Yeah, 8 Autocad. You know, from the higher time frame, you can see that we had this, right? We had back in October, we had this massive reaccumulation that made a new high, right? Made a new high. So this is our higher time frame leg. This is what's maintaining structure. So it actually sucks because I wanted us to come into, I want to say it was like the 2 hour, 80% of the 2 hours, what I was looking at. And she missed the entry. She missed the entry by like 2 pips on the extreme. But coming into the extreme, right, you could see 80% of the daily candle is what I had marked off. We have a really, really clean type 4 schematic, right? Really clean type 4. And the key here was when we tap into 80% of the daily right here, what does this schematic in here do? This schematic creates a break of structure because if this is our low, what's our previous low right here? This is what's maintaining intraday structure, right? So we end up breaking that. And if you go, I want to say this was Thursday, New York session. I personally didn't get into this simply because it happened at like 3:45 Eastern, which left about an hour left before changeover. But this was the markup, right? This was the schematic that taps perfectly into the 80% of the daily candle. I mean, you don't get a cleaner schematic in this. 1, 2, 3 drives. This is the spring, right? This is the spring. For me, when we back tested this, you know, I wanted to find the spring candle. It was the 5-minute. That's the 5-minute candle right here that I wanted to find. It tapped into also the 1-minute candle, and that's what she did. You know, so when I back tested it, that's where she rocked right into. It was a half a pip stop loss, 1 to 78 since Friday to Monday. Yeah. Well, if you took it off of this entry right here, depending on what your spread was. Without the spread, it was a 1 to 246. But for me, like Autocad on most of my brokers is a 1 pip spread. So you took it off the open. Awesome, bro. Awesome. Yeah. Yep. So, oh, hold on. There we go. All right. So yeah, for sure. To where we closed on Friday, if you took it off of 50% of the 1 minute, it was at a 1 to 246. But yeah, a really, really solid play. If you guys if you want something to back test, I'd go back and back test Autocad because it was just a phenomenal move. So, you know, what's next for Autocad? Well, you know, we still have the schematic. And if we created our spring, I'm now expecting us to get a test. So the two areas that I'm looking at are ultimately I'm looking at this area right here. And I'm looking, what am I looking at? Okay, so I am looking at 2 points of interest, right? To start from a higher time frame, what is the spring candle? For me, the spring candle is the 2-day, right? If you come over here and see the 2-day candle, there she goes, right here, 2-day candle. So 80% of the 2-day candle is 50% of the 410-minute candle, which is this candle right here, full volume candle. All right, and it's also the 20-minute open. All right. It's also the 20-minute open. The key thing is it falls in line with this reaccumulation that occurred here. So if we get a schematic in here, I would love to play it. And the next thing I'll be looking at is 80% of the 410-minute candle, right? Going back to that 410, 80% of this 410-minute candle is also the 4-hour 80% right here. So if we get something in that 80%, I'm looking for schematics out of those. I swear you hired it. No, dude, I'll be honest. Like you kind of, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, man. I have no idea. I just find it. Can you check US 30? Yeah, we'll get to it. What maintains structure in bullish trend? Yeah, in bullish conditions, the lows. The lows are what maintain structure, man. Very good. And in bearish structure, Wait, and in bearish, no, in bearish structure, it's the highs. Yeah, it's the highs. So for structure, I think the extreme, wait, for structure, I think the extreme higher low. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In bullish conditions, the lows are what maintain structure, and in bearish conditions, it's the highs. Okay. Um, let's see. Don't you think the 1 minute time frame was kind of low to look for accumulation for those? Nope, I don't. I don't. You very rarely get a huge time frame accumulation in the extremes. Just looking back at this year alone, EJ, right? EJ came into the extreme back in March. That was well, technically it was a 5 minute schematic, but you could have played it off the 1 minute. GA was a 1 minute schematic. What was the other one? NJ was a 1 minute. Actually, NJ was a 1 minute schematic. I'm trying to think what other ones we picked. A lot of them are 1 minute schematics, that are in the extremes. So, are you looking for? Yeah, no, I'm not. Ruben is. Who else? I know someone else is in it as well. Yeah, yeah. I would back test it. Look at every time prices come into the extreme of the leg, and just look to see. Yeah, Odd Chef too. Yeah, Odd Chef came in perfectly too, man. I kind of liked Autocad better, but yeah, this sucked. Yeah, I wish I was in it. Like I said, for me, the only thing that kept me in was I just wasn't on the charts at that late in the afternoon. I was out doing something else. So, but it's all right. No worries. I've got my alert sitting right here, and I want us now to trade down in here, give us a schematic here or here based off of the 80 or the 50, and then continue up, right? Continue up. So, uh, out of all the pairs on the watch list, what are my top three? Top three for what? Like, I don't really have. I mean, I'll tell you what makes it get into the top three is when I have a confirmation to set the limit. So right now I don't have any confirmations for limits. So yeah, do I know, Bro Sango? We've been waiting for a while, man. We've been waiting for a while for Autocad. So I remember we started looking. I think we started looking here, right? Because we ended up breaking this structure point, but it just wasn't ready. We weren't deep enough into the extreme. Um, so all good, man. Just wait now. We waited this long. If you think about it, I've been waiting since October for us to come into the extreme. I'm sure I can wait a couple more days for it to come back and mitigate out of our spring candle, and then we go from there. So Autocad, I'm looking for bullishness. And of course, like, what's the overall target, right? Well, the overall target, if we're in the extreme of the leg, right? If we're in the extreme of the leg, my overall target is to take this bad boy up into, the 1.0 dollar range. We could see that we fell just short of it. That's about 700 pips. This should keep us busy. If you look at from this extreme to the high, took about 128 days. So this will keep me busy for about 3 months of working positions in and out. Right. And then overall, I'm looking to kind of attack into this wick right here. This is what I want to kind of trade into, is this wick right here. So we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, well, it should, man. It definitely needs to test out of the spring. So we'll see how that plays out. All right. So that's Autocad. Odd Chef. Sengo was talking about Odd Chef. Odd Chef is kind of the same thing, right? We had back in February, we had a reaccumulation. Actually, let me go lower time frame here. So we had a reaccumulation. We had a reaccumulation that kind of reaccumulated. And back in like February, we were looking for an accumulation out of here. I never moved my alert line. And then sure enough, this week, we just get a really, really, really long drawn out intraday schematic, multiple secondary tests. We finally get the spring. And then, of course, today we start to trade down into the reaccumulation that I wanted to see us trade into. So for me, there's a lot of confluence between the daily. So for me, you could see this is my spring candle, right? Full volume candle is the daily. It's also the 12-hour, right? 12-hour. Okay. Out of the 12-hour, we also have the 22-hour, right? This is the 22-hour. And then, of course, we also have the 14-hour that I found. A lot of confluence in that. I actually, I wanted to see it missed the 80% I was looking at this and this was only going to be a 7.5 pip stop. I personally didn't even look to set this. By the time we looked at it this morning, it kind of already tapped into it. But now what I want to see is potentially build a schematic in here. I want to see what we're going to do from here. We're either going to do one of two things. I want us to now come down and maybe build a schematic here to go higher, or I want us to reaccumulate here, maybe create a new break of order flow here, a boof. All right. And then from there, come in and go higher. So I'm looking for odd chef to go higher. I definitely don't want to get into anything right now on it. I want it to really give me some clean price action. And, during New York session today, this is all, New York session kind of came in right here. So coming into London, we had promise. I thought this was going to build a schematic. It kind of just gave a crappy price action the rest of the day. So I'm personally just going to wait on it, but I am looking for some bullishness on it. I want to take this thing higher. What was the trade you hold for EJ? Well, gold was the longest trade to date. Gold was 92 days, man. Yeah, 92 days is what I held it for. And EJ is creeping up there right now. EJ I've been holding since March 25th. So yeah. All right. So that's odd chef, right? The other one I'm looking at is so what CAJ? What are we looking on CAJ here? We're getting close. Yeah, we're getting CAJ. Ripe to everybody who's trying to sell this bad boy. So my alert still is here. Actually, here, let me change that alert. There we go. My alert is still here. It's been pending for since the end of May, since when we broke this and confirmed the reaccumulation. But ideally, what I am looking for is I want us to come into this area right here, and this is where I want to build a schematic. So we're not too far away from it. We were something like 50 pips today. We're 30, 40 pips away from it right now. This is the first area I want to look for buys. All right, because this is the cause, right? This area right here is the cause of the break of structure. All right. Now, obviously, the extreme, what maintains intraday right here is this, right? Because this is the low that created and pushed in this high. So that's for me what maintains the intraday. And yeah, I mean, I'm willing to put some risk on once we get into this area here. So anywhere between like 89.90 and like 90.100 is where I'm going to be looking. All right. Imagine you bought US 30 at 29,000. Yeah, I bet, man. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. So CAJ for me is pretty simple. I'm just waiting right here. The rest is just the rest is just a continuation. What are you talking about? All of this in here. Oh, yeah. Because here's your high, right? So here's your high, right? And this high broke this structure. All right. So once we broke this high right here, when we broke this high in this price action, where's the low that broke it? The low that broke it was right here. So all of this was just noise, right? All of that was just noise. Yeah. Like if and sometimes it makes it easier to do this, right? Like if you really just want to clean up your charts, sometimes it'll just be easier to do that, right? And that maybe makes here, and then you can like just draw. Hold on. You can just draw. There you go. You just do that. That might make it easier, get out all that noise. Yep. Exactly, man. Exactly. Anything on UCAD? Yeah. I'm still looking for the sells, man. I'm still looking for the sells. We'll get to it. Where is UCAD? Yeah, UCAD's towards the bottom. We'll get to UCAD. Yeah. So I'll drop here. I'll drop CAJ. Because CAJ is something I definitely want to look for. A buy out of here. I'll drop that in the Discord for everybody in the Aporia group. Hold on. just so you guys can see. Give me a sec. Let me open up Discord. Oh, 1 second, 1 second. Oh, NJ's going to bother me now. I waited all day today for alerts to go off, and now during Asian is when we get it, of course, naturally. Okay, hold on. So I'll drop this right here. Any tips for managing that many pairs? What do you mean, managing the active ones? Yeah, I mean, honestly, the best thing I can tell you is just always have your plan. Like, know where you're taking it to, know where you're taking partials, and then that's it. Let me delete this because I ain't playing with it right now. Like keeping up to date with all the moves on each of them. Well, I mean, so for me, everything is done from a higher time frame, right? Like, I don't play ping pong. I'm not looking to, like on CAJ, right? I'm not looking to sell this to here and then buy it up to there and then sell it down to here, right? So for me, nothing has changed on CAJ, right? Nothing has changed on CAJ for 12 days. So I haven't, I set my alert. I know where I want to buy from. And you can see, I mean, just look at this chart, right? So I have an alert up here, right? That says, what's it say? It says, crossing a new high. And I have an alert here that says, wait for buys. So until one of these alerts goes off, I don't have to change it. So in 12 days, I haven't had to look, at CAJ. I can tell you that, so you kind of have a lot of, yeah, exactly. Like, there's not, I would say that I spend, man, I mean, most of these markups I do, Tuesday morning, I'll do my markup. And it'll take me maybe 2 hours to go through the bulk of these. And then through the rest of the week, it's just revising them. So all of these pairs, it's pretty self-explanatory. And until, if you do the legwork once, for me, I always try, and this is something I got from Zach McDonald, but I always do the first of every month. I just go back and I kind of do it to my top down day. And I just go through all the pairs I'm watching and just make sure that nothing has changed from a top down analysis, and if something's changed, then I update it. I either get it off my watch list or I something gets promoted to my watch list. So, am I still eyeing the 8-minute candle on UCAD? Yeah, potentially, but I mean, not during Asian session, bro. So yeah, not during Asian session. Yeah, so yeah, it gets easier to keep up with it. Like I will say that it may seem a little overwhelming to keep up with so many pairs, but it truly isn't. Like, once you get the bulk of it done, it's just staying up to date with it and revising it. Like I said, CAJ, 12 days, I haven't had to touch this thing. I haven't changed anything on CAJ in 12 days. So, all right. So we talked about CAJ. So EA, right? EA, I'm kind of torn with. So higher time frame, right? We're bearish. All right. Let me get rid of this stupid alert because I'm not sitting here all day long with it. All right. So we are bearish, right? From a higher time frame. Let's go to a daily. Okay. So we could see that this redistribution pushed in a new low. I wanted to see how we were going to react into the supply zone. And sure enough, what are we doing in that supply zone? Well, we're creating a type 1 schematic. So higher time frame, we are bearish. On the intraday side, right? On the intraday side, we are bullish. So, and on the lower time frame, we're bearish. So I need to start looking for sells. And you can kind of see what I have playing out here, right? I have a, where's my annotation? So I have my slingshot area and I have the extreme. I want to look for a distribution in here to sell down. And this may be the area I hedge because this is the reaccumulation that pushed in the new high. All right. So EA, I am looking for sells. We do have, I mean, it's a clean distribution. So, I definitely, for me, the 22-hour candle is the UTAD, right? There's my UTAD right here. That's the 22-hour candle. I'm not setting a limit off of it just because that limit order will involve a 23 pip stop loss. And I would rather do a lot more things than take a 23 pip stop loss. But in this case, I'm just going to wait for the schematic. So I have my alert set. I do want to see price trade back up into the redistribution for my first area that I'll be looking at. And if we don't get up there, or I'm sorry, if we get past this area, then I want to look up in the higher area around this 80% of the 22-hour candle. So that's going to be the first and foremost thing I want to do. I do not want it to come down and form the accumulation here first. I would rather us come up and then come down. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on. You have the same markup on EA? Cool, bro. Yeah. Like I said, I'm kind of torn with it because I was bullish on EA, but I wanted to see us break. But in order for that to happen, and having a sound trading plan is one of the key things that I like to have. And my trading plan says trade what I see, not what I feel. So until this turns it, trade the distro, react to the reaccumulation. So if the distro fails, wait for the reaccumulation. But yeah, I am looking for the sell on EA here. Euro pound. So Euro pound is another one. Euro pound is something I was looking at earlier today, and we did actually have a lower time frame schematic. So we did have a type 1 in here. But the stop loss wasn't too bad. It was 8.3 off of the 50% of the hour. I really didn't mark up too much on it, but you can see, right? This is your climax. This is your secondary test. This is another secondary test. And then this is your UTAD, right? That's your UTAD. And then, of course, we broke structure, right? We broke structure. We exited the trading range. So I was willing to look for sells on this. And again, here's that for me is my UTAD candle right there. But I was looking for sells on this. Why was I looking for sells on it? Well, strictly from an order flow perspective, right? We had price trade into the slingshot area that broke structure. And then from there, what do we have? Well, we just have a really ugly, right? Sango, I think that's what you called it this morning, a really ugly further distribution that's trying to push lower. So you could see order flow right here. This is what's maintaining bearish order flow. We did come and we did create a schematic, but from this schematic now, what I want to see is I want to see continuation of that order flow. So Euro GPP is not anywhere near the top of my list of fund fund setups, just because this thing has been in consolidation and just sideways for all of May, actually all of April, all of May, and now into June. So it's just something I'm watching. If it presents an entry for me, I'll take it, but if not, screw it. I've got other things I'm looking at. Euro NZD now, right? Euro NZD. What am I looking for? Euro NZD. Actually, nothing. I'm not looking at anything for Euro NZD right now. Euro NZD is kind of one of those things where, yeah, Euro NZD is nothing. We're kind of undecided, and I don't. One of the things I like to do is if I cannot determine the direction that this is going to go, because we have distribution that failed because this invalidated it. This distribution failed because of this. We had this reaccumulation that pushed in. This mitigated out of here. So everything is telling me bullishness, but then we break lower time frame structure. So we're just doing a bunch of stuff. So when I see stuff like this, I have an alert up here that said failed distro. I have an alert down here that shows me coming into this. So until one of these two alerts goes off, I'm not paying attention, and we have 120 pips up or we have 170 pips down. I'm not trading in between that. Yeah, I'm not chasing it either, bro. I mean, yeah, exactly. Set your alerts, moving on, you know, and actually this thing is downgraded to my secondary list. So because we're just so far away, you know, we're so far away. Um, let's see, you were kind of saying the same thing about EA to Zach. It was bearish, hard time frame. So I was, yeah. I mean, it's just one of those where the order flow is causing you to really have that mixed feeling on what it wants to do, you know, but when in doubt, right? When in doubt, refer back to the three keys, right? Structure. What is structure telling you? What is supply and demand telling you? What's cause and effect telling you? Worry about order flow after you get through everything else, right? After you get through, you know, like what Dogecoin is doing, what the current, you know, mineral deposit on Antarctica is showing, you know, maybe what the don't forget the magic 8 ball. Always ask the magic 8 ball before you go to order flow. You know, we talk about the moon phases and stuff like that. Then we'll get to order flow. So yeah. But if we are right, we will, let's see, we'll have so nice a swing on ACAD. Yeah. Absolutely, man. All right, man. Have a good one, man. Enjoy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. CAD May as well, man. We're, you know, check the harmonic scanner. Yeah, bro. Yep. So all is good, man. So EN is on the sideline, man. You know, until I can figure out exactly what it wants to do, like I'm not in the habit of guessing. Like I just want to see a clean and clear direction. And if we don't get it, you know, no hard feelings, you know. I'll you know, I don't hold grudges on pairs, you know. You either get downgraded to the minor leagues and go on the secondary test or a secondary list, or you get promoted, you're in the show, you're at the big game, and you're on the primary list, you know. So En's benched for me, you know. Until En tells me what she wants to do, it's gonna go, you know. Yeah, go to the Mars. There you go, man. Absolutely. So yeah. All right, so En. All right, let's look. We talked about EG. All right, so GA. Let's get into GA, right? So listen, I mean, I've been bullish on GA since the beginning of January, you know. Yeah, if it's confusing, when in doubt, if it ain't clean, change your screen, man. You know, get it off your chart. You know, if I have to spend more than 5-10 minutes trying to talk myself into understanding what it's doing, I've spent way too much of my time to do that and move on to a different pair. You know, just I move on. All right, so GA, like I said, GA, I've been bullish as crap on this sucker. And when we look at what GA is doing, all right, so we had a lower time frame break of structure. All right, we could delete that because that ended up breaking higher. So right now, right, what is maintaining lower time frame structure? And for me, this right here is maintaining lower time frame structure. Hold on, let's do this. All right, lower time frame structure. All right, so this is what's maintaining lower time frame structure, right? Why? Well, because this low is what pushed in this high, right? So this is what's maintaining lower time frame structure. What is maintaining intraday? Well, from an intraday perspective, intraday is being maintained by this low right here, right? Because nothing has changed. This was the high. We caused in this high. Where's the low? The low is here, right? So I'm not looking for sells on GA until we break below like 177,500. All right. So for me, I'm back bullish. Could we come lower? Sure. But if we're bullish on the lower time frame, bullish on the intraday, I got to start looking for what we're going to do here. I was looking for price to come, you know, you should be able to see, training your eye, you should be able to see the schematic right here, right? Climax, test and B, spring, right? This is the spring. We invalidated the slingshot, right, in here. So slingshot's done. We did come really nice. Now, obviously it didn't come into where I wanted it to come into, but you know, sometimes I don't get what I want. And what we did do is we formed on the lower time frame. I think it was like, honestly, there was no entry for me. So I want to say it was just like an ugly type 2. Where is she at? Yeah, in here was an ugly type 2. So not enough for me to get into the entry. But it did give a schematic, right? Here's your type 2. Climax, test, 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 right? So this was the test in B right here. Ultimately, she came back to mitigate somewhere in here, and then took off. So not enough for me to get into an entry. I'm not a fan of type twos. So, I think this was, I don't know if it was Friday or what, but I remember we were looking at it and I said, I want a type one or nothing. So price is now back, right? Price is now back into the area. Okay. Hold on. Let's show this. All right. So price ends up coming back into the area. We have a distribution, right? So if we look to see what happened, right? We had a distribution right here. So this is your distribution into another distribution. All right. Into an accumulation, and then finally this accumulation right here. So you have 1, 2, 3 drives. You have your creek. All right. And for me, I know a lot of people have asked me, like, they were looking at let's go 1 minute here. I'll just kind of give you like my 2 cents on this. All right. So if we look at what happened here, right? I know a lot of people were attempting to take this schematic right here. All right. My only advice is this, right? Why take an accumulation when you're in a reaccumulation? Right. So for me, if we have a valid accumulation down here and we are now distributing, I know a lot of you have heard me say I need to wait for confirmation of a reaccumulation. So I need the jump of the creek, which we got here, but we never got a break of structure. And why didn't we get a break of structure? Because this did not trade lower than this, right? So when price did this right here, this high is actually absolutely nothing. This high right here did absolutely nothing because this is the low. Your previous low was here. So you needed this break right here. All right. Hold on. I'm like in the 80% of the 91-minute candle on GA. When we get down there. Okay. Yeah, we'll look at it, man. So we finally confirmed the reaccumulation, right? We confirmed it. You can see it's already starting another distro here. So at this point, because we have a new high, right? This right here is what's maintaining order flow, right? We had this that pulled in here, all right? Ultimately breaking this right up here. Now we have a reaccumulation that has now made a new high. So this is what's maintaining order flow and order flow only. All right. So one of the things I'm going to be looking for is when we get into this type 2 schematic, when we get into this area right here. And what were you looking at? You were looking at what, 91, you said? Let's see. Oh, wait, you're talking about this 91. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see if we get in there. You're talking about this 79. I mean, it is where they turned around and bought it up. But either way, I mean, I'm not looking for an entry off a limit order. I need a schematic because it's just maintaining order flow. Like we're not in the extreme of anything. Yeah. That's the key, right? Like understand, if you see, understand the market cycle, right? So we had a accumulation into a reaccumulation here, right? We had into a reaccumulation, we had into a distro, right? And ultimately you're starting to see this accumulation. This accumulation didn't do anything. This accumulation didn't do anything. Okay. So what you have to look at is if these accumulations aren't doing anything, you have to look at the bigger picture. So we have a distro into an accumulation, which means that you should be looking for a reaccumulation, hold on, give me a sec. It's time to turn down my my AC. It's getting a little warm in my office. There we go. All right, cool. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm particularly just going to be watching for the accumulation on GA right here. All right. If we trade below this, means absolutely nothing to me, right? I'm still going to look for the buys. I'll just look for the buys out of this low over here, right? Because this is what's maintaining lower time frame. And if this gets taken, right? If this gets taken here, all right, no worries. Then we just go up to an intraday and I'll be looking for buys out of the intraday move, which is now down in here, right? So I'm still bullish on GA. I'm still looking for this to continue up. All right. On GJ is pretty self-explanatory. All right, let's see. This is what you just went over, right? I was waiting for a schematic, but I am aware that the schematic didn't go. Hold on, let's see, bro. On the 1 minute. Yeah. So you have, right, this is your schematic. So this is your SC, your ST, your STB, right? AR, UA, and then SOS up here. So yeah. It exactly, all I did was just break order flow. So for me, I want to see the schematic, So, and I want to see the schematic here between this right here, this push. That's what I want to see the schematic in, bro. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Let EJ do its thing, man. I don't trust anything Asian does, bro. Nothing in Asian session do I trust. So, yeah. So GJ is another one, pretty self-explanatory, right? We've just been massively bullish. What's maintaining lower time frame, right? This is maintaining lower time frame right here. This was our high. This is our previous or our next high. Just connect the dots. Where's the low? The low's right here. So this for me is the slingshot that created that. So as we trade down, right? As we trade down into this area, I want to get a schematic, right? This is the first area. And I mean, shoot. I mean, most of you guys, we've been waiting on GJ for 12 days now. Could I send a chart? Yeah, I mean, there's not much in the chart. It's pretty self-explanatory. Like this is what's maintaining a lower time frame. So like I just need a schematic inside of here. These are the 2 points I'm going to wait for schematics for the buys. That's all it is, man. There's not much to look at. This is what's maintaining lower time frame. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because of this high, this is the previous high. This is what's maintaining lower time frame. So I just want to see a schematic in this area. Yep. Yeah, pretty good, man. And GJ is the same thing. I'm waiting. You could see I'm looking for pound pairs to give a little more further retracement so we can get a buy-in. All right. And this is the first area. This is again what maintains a lower time frame right here. So it's just a matter of just being patient, waiting, let it materialize. If we can get the schematic in here, I'll be taking it higher. And if not, if this lower time frame ends up taking out, then that's fine. I want it to come down into my intraday anyway. I'd prefer to buy it up from either the slingshot or the extreme of this here. And I'll tell you right now, I will put in 80% of the 15-minute. I'd be putting a limit on that if we do get down here. That right here has my name on it. Yeah, cool. All right. Bear with me here. All right. So GN's pretty similar. I've been talking about this reaccumulation for a very long time with GN. We back tested this entry, really nice entry, gave, I gave at one point, it gave 600 pips, but the key here is what has the accumulation done, right? So we had a distro into a type 2 accumulation. Actually, yeah, type 2 accumulation. Out of that type 2 accumulation, what have we done? Well, we had another distribution here that failed to break anything. We had an accumulation into a reaccumulation that caused a boof, right? So we have a break of order flow. So everything is showing bullish intent. Out of this area, you could see the reaccumulation here, 167-minute candles, what I like, right? That 167. And now, I got the alert here. I'm just going to wait on it. I want us to essentially trade lower into this, give me a schematic to take it higher. And if this ends up failing, because this is just the slingshot, I want us to come down into this schematic right here, right? You could see the nice accumulation that occurred. There's also a nice little micro schematic in here. That's what I want to see us trade into. So GN, I'm still bullish on. I'm just going to be patient and wait on it. All right. But the reaccumulation for me is key. Yeah, the reaccumulation for me is key, and it's pretty clean price action if you stay on the higher time frame. When you start getting on the lower time frame, it starts getting sloppy. But if you understand what you're looking at, and especially understanding that this reaccumulation created the break of order flow, makes perfect sense, right? Makes perfect sense. All right. Okay. So let's look at GU, right? So I know somebody was looking at GU. So GU is sideways. GU doesn't know if it's in distribution, if it's in consolidation, if it's in reaccumulation, who knows? I can tell you this. I can say that we broke lower time frame right here. I could say that this area right here is what's maintaining intraday, that leg right up here. I can tell you that we are smack dab in the middle of where I want to buy and potentially where I would want to sell if I was already in a buy, because we're bullish as crap on this thing, man. Do I always see breakup structure in all time frames? I don't know what that means, man. The boof, a boof is a break of order flow, and a BOS is a break of structure. Yeah, order flow and structure are totally different, completely different. So, yeah. So what I'm looking at is ideally in a perfect world, right? In a perfect world, this is what I would love to see. I would love to see us trade up, break the high, which would give us the break of structure. We've already got the jack, right? Break of structure and a jack equals a reaccumulation, right? We get that break of structure. And then if this is the slingshot that creates that, this will be point of interest number one. And if not, I want us to come in here for point of interest number two. But that's really the only thing I'm looking at with GU. Sorry, do you mind going over the difference of what? Of order flow and structure? Yeah, so structure is your legs, man. Structure is the leg. All right. So like here, let's just go to a 1 hour chart. All right. So we know this is our high, right? We make a new high, which makes this what is maintaining structure, correct? Everyone good with that? So this is structure right here. All right. This is our leg. All right. Let me ask you, when we create this high, does this now move structure to here on a lower time frame? Yes, right? So this is now lower time frame structure. All right. When we come here, all right, and ultimately make this here, is any of this structure? No, absolutely. It's not structure. It's just order flow, right? This is all just order flow, right? Okay. So now when we create this low, right? When we create this low, we break, right? Lower time frame structure. So what is maintaining bearish lower time frame structure? This is maintaining lower time frame structure. Okay. Does that make sense so far? All right. And then what happens? We have a lot of people would say that this right here is a break of structure, and it's not. This is simply just a break of order flow, right? This high, breaking this high, is not structure because you never traded above this high, which is maintaining lower time frame until you break this high. Now you are back bullish, and because if you're back bullish here, this is what maintains lower time frame, right? This is your lower time frame structure point. All of this in here. So when price does all of this crap in here, this is just order flow, right? Order flow is breaking this here, right? But you're still bullish. It's not until you make this low that you break lower time frame structure. All right. And you can see this is an order flow, right? This high is order flow. So if we broke above that, that's simply just order flow. What is a COS, man? Structures like the waves in Elliott theory. Yeah, I mean, you could say legs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could say like a wave. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Continuation, exactly. And just remember, reaccumulations or redistributes are continuation moves. So, but yeah, that's the difference. All right. So for GU, I mean, this is my perfect world is let this come up and break this, and then I'll start looking for buys. Or we need to trade down here and give me a schematic here. But other than that, we're just sideways, and I'm not trading this, right? There's nothing to trade. You know, we're bullish higher time frame. All we've done is break and lower time frame. So we're bullish intraday, bullish higher time frame. I'm not trying to counter trend this. All right. Okay. So that's what I have on GU. Got nothing on NAS. NJ. So NJ, so NJ was this, right? So NJ, right? This pushes in this high. This is what's maintaining a lower time frame right here. I was looking for an accumulation here because this is the slingshot, or I was looking for an accumulation down here. We did get some price action in here. I don't know what it's doing right now. Hold on, let's see. What is this stupid thing doing? Always, bro, always. Well, this is what I want. This is what I wanted us to get into this morning. And sure enough, I want us to get into this candle. And it looks like we're getting into that now. Can you analyze NAS too? I mean, there's not much for me to go off of on NAS, man. It's bullish as crap. So I'm not looking for buys from the highs. I like the look of, yeah, I mean, UCAD sells are great. I mean, that's what we're looking for, man. NJ was playing with me. I'm at break even from the 80% of the 15 since this morning, and it has almost taken me out 3 times. And it finally took off. Yeah, I mean, it's wait, so you got in from this morning. So you got in from, hold on. So all right, man, have a good one, man. So you got in what, off of this 15-minute? I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was looking at. I want us to come into this candle because this is the reaccumulation, right? Here's your distro, here's your creek, this is your shakeout. So not only that, but this shakeout took out all of the Asian lows. So that's what I want us to see. And it just didn't give me a schematic. So, you know, no schematic, I didn't take it. And now you're starting to see a schematic in play here, but we're in Asian session. So, you know, I'm going to kind of just wait and see what happens. Yeah, like right now, this is how I see it. Like maybe the 5-minute would be a little cleaner. Let's see. Yeah, so here's your schematic, right? That's your schematic. Here's your SC, your ST, your ST, your ST. So until we either get a spring or we get that sign of strength, right? I'm not going to play this. And if this does turn into a type 2, right, what I need it to do is, this is your distro right up here, right? 1, 2, 3 drives. This is push 1, push 2, right? I want us to break this high, come back to mitigate out of the slingshot, or come back to mitigate out of here to play it up higher. All right, cool. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at it this morning. Yeah. Yeah, if you ever, I'll tell you what, like if you ever got into like this, if you ever saw yourself like, okay, wait, we made a new high, right? We made a new high. So I'm going to look for buys out of here and then get clapped here, right? And then, all right, so now I'm going to look for a sell out of like this institution candle and get clapped there. And then you're like, all right, well, shoot, now I'm going to take a buy out of here, get into the buy here only to get broken even here. Like all of this is order flow, right? That's hence the reason why it is 457th on my list is order flow, because order flow really doesn't mean much to me. It's not true structure, you know. Was trying to buy here. I even had the chart marked and everything, but I see that you were not looking for buy there. Let's see, bro. Hold on. You were looking for a buy on GU, but my question is this, right? Like why? Hold on. Let's see. On GU. Yeah. So here, hold on. I mean, and listen, don't not trade your plan just because I say I'm not looking for an entry there, right? So you were looking out of, So you were looking out of where? You were looking out of this right here? Is that where you were looking? I can't really see the, yeah, okay. So this is just my, right? Let me, and maybe you can give me a reason, but okay. So order flow is still bearish, right? On the second, I sent you the lower time frame. Yeah, but it doesn't. So for me, the lower time frame doesn't matter because I would never even be on the lower time frame yet, right? Because we have this high that pushes in a low, right? Does this schematic, does it break this high? No, it does not. And then we have this price action here that invalidates this slingshot area, gives a pullback, does this price action here, right? So my question is this, what was the reason to look for the buy out of here? What was your reason? Let me see if you got it on here. Yeah, so like what's, yeah, I don't like what, so what's your reason? I see the 3 minute, but what do you see on the 3 minute? Sorry, my buy was on the 4th. Wait. All right. So your buy was on the 4th. So your buy was here, right? Your buy was here. Is that what you're saying? I got you, bro. Okay. All right. So your buy was here. All right. So you were buying out of this reaccumulation right here that at the time, let's see. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like there's nothing for me to play there. Right. Like I got a question, like why didn't you play out of this right here? Because this is what caused the break. Because this is where I was looking. I was looking right here for an accumulation. We just never got it. So like did you try to buy out of here? Out of this? No, you didn't. Well, how come you tried buying out? You didn't. You bought out of this, but not this, because this is what caused the break of structure. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, like for me, that's why like I'm just sitting with GU on the sideline right now. I'm just waiting. You know, yeah, you know, yeah. I mean, because this trades in and sweeps this low and trades into here and then makes a new high. This is what's maintaining lower time frame structure for me. So I didn't want us to trade below structure. I didn't want that. So for me, this is a no play for me. Like I want us to come lower or I want us to maintain structure. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, no worries, man. I mean, hey, if it worked out for you, great. I mean, it seemed to have worked out for you. So you got some really good moves out of it. But yeah, for GU, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting here. So somebody wanted to look at NAS. I mean, here's my thought on NAS, right? We were in a distribution. Here's your creek. For me, it's pretty simple. Like we got to come down here. I'll look for a buy out of this to go higher. But we're 300 points away from that. Yeah, I'm really okay. Cool, man. Yeah, just when things work out, try to analyze it and figure out what worked because it maybe maybe it worked for a reason. Um, I can just tell you that for me, I was not. Once we broke lower time frame structure, that reaccumulation wasn't even a point of interest for me. Inflation news maybe can move to those lows. Yeah, absolutely. Like hold on, I have an alert somewhere on one of these. Let Let's see. It's on one of these. I honestly haven't looked at NASDAQ in a minute. I did have one more in here. I had 4 NASDAQs. Yeah, I mean, but this is the area. This is maybe this is the one I marked up. This is the area I'd be waiting for. You know, yeah, just for buys. That's ideally what I'm waiting on. And NJ, so like for NJ for me is, you know, just a wait and see. I want to see what we're gonna do. I do like the fact, man, did we do a type 1 in there? No, we didn't. Okay. Yeah, no, nothing yet. All right. Yeah, NJ, I'm still looking for buys in NJ. I'm just gonna wait and see what she does. Yeah, I'm gonna see what she does. SPX is doing its thing. Bro, U30. I haven't looked at U30 in a minute just because it's been just ugly price action. Yeah, I prefer SPX. All right, UCAD. So we were looking at UCAD sells, and I see what you mean, bro. I see the distro in there right now. Yeah, we are getting a little distro in there. Cool, cool. All right, so this is where I was looking, right? I was looking for a sell out of this 8-minute. I just really don't like trading this during Asian, but that is your distro right here, right now. But I would not be surprised if London takes out whatever happens here. Let's see. So we have, man, I hate the volume in this thing. There's absolutely no volume moving out of these candles. So we ultimately have, all right, so here's our schematic. I'll just mark it out real quick. All right, so this is our climax to our AR. It's our first change of character. So here's our first change of character. All right, and then we have our secondary test. Secondary test pushes down, makes a really nice push in there. We have another secondary test. We have another secondary test, and we have another secondary test that's already traded down to the 50%. So, I mean, typically what I like to do is this. I set an alert up here for this high, set an alert for crossing the UTAD, or I'll set an alert down here for a break of structure. All right. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, it can. If we get that UTAD, we get it. It'd be great. The only thing that sucks is, you know, Asian session, man. That distro needs break of structure or a boof. This distro here, yeah, like ideally, this is what I would like to see. So if we get, so let's just say we get this. Hold on, bear with me for 1 second here. So let's talk about Friday's price action, right? Friday NFP. Friday NFP was actually pretty good, right? We had, you can see that we had a distro, right? Distribution. This is the UTAD. This entire push here is the UTAD. And then inside of that distribution, we had 2 micros, right? We had, so in phase C, you could see we have a type 2 schematic. We have 1, 2, 3 drives, right? So we have a type 2 that happens in there. And then inside of that micro, we have another schematic right here, right? So we have climax, test, test, UTAD right here. This is your UTAD. So when we broke structure, and in this case here, structure for me, if this is our high, our previous high is right here. This is what I needed to get broken. When we did that, the entry was off of, and shout out to, I know like Ruben caught this, a couple other people caught it. For me, it was off the 3 minute, right? The 3 minute is the most voluminous candle. And there's the 3 minute candle right there. 50% of the 3 minute candle, that's a 1.9 pip stop. So going to what I would need to see now on UCAD, right, is you can see I have the 8 minute candle is what I'm looking at because the 8 minute is the most voluminous candle, right? We are inside of the open of the 8 minute. All right, we are inside of the open of it already. So I would need to see this happen. I want to see us do this. So where's this? Boom, and then boom. So trade down here, right? Maybe get an MSAL, right? From there, create a UTAD to tap into the 80%. And in that case, I would need a break of structure. So the break of structure would be below this sign of strength. So I would need the break of structure, come back to mitigate for the test, and then down we go. So how that would look is if we don't get this low, right? If we get something like this, I still need whatever the previous high was. So regardless of whether or not, if this is how it plays out, then I need this to get broken right here as the break of structure, like that. Then this would be my UTAD. And then my entry is going to be the test. This is my entry right here. So I'll tell you right now on a 5-minute schematic, we're talking anywhere from 4 to 5 hours for the entire schematic to confirm the entry. So, you know, if we need a push down and then all the way back up and then the break of structure, we're talking potentially from here down, a push up, break of structure, and then come back. So we're looking at relatively 3.5 hours just to get simple price action like that. But this is ideally what I'd be looking for, something just like this. All right. Cool. Any questions? Does that make sense? What's going on, man? How's everything? All right, cool. Yeah. So like I said, I live off alerts. I have an alert up here for the UTAD. I have an alert down here for the break of structure. Let's see what happens, you know. The other thing I have is gold. What the hell did gold do? So gold did exactly what I thought it was going to do. It played off that 277-minute candle. So played off 80% of it to the T. That's what I've been looking at for a while. And we did get NFP. We did get a schematic here, really ugly schematic, but it's still a schematic. What I want to do is you can see the distribution here. We have a distribution. We have a creek. I would really appreciate, you can see my alert up here for the new high. That will confirm the reaccumulation. And then if this is a lower time frame reaccumulation, this is point of interest number 1. Point of interest number 2 is that shakeout right here from NFP that I'd be looking for price to return to go higher. All right. Yeah, you know, for me, it's I'm still bullish on gold, and I mean that's what I'm waiting on. But you know, currently what I need to wait on is I need the reaccumulation to confirm. So this was the only potential entry right here off of this point of interest. Now what we have to do is we have to play off of this reaccumulation. So I need this high. That's what my alert's set there. So once that alert goes off, then if this is the reaccumulation that causes it, like I said, slingshot, extreme, right? 2 points of interest that I'll be looking for buys off of. And that's pretty much it. That's what I got. You know, what's your opinions on crypto? Do you think they can go even lower? I hope they go lower, man. I would love to buy some more at lower prices. I took the same buy on gold, but off the H1 candle. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'd love for cryptos to keep going lower, man. You know, the more money I can drop into cryptos, the better. Yeah, I mean, I'm currently in a lot of these. So, you know, I bought a crap ton of Ethereum today. Yeah, bought some Ethereum today on this drop. I bought in where did I buy? I'll have to look where I bought in. But it was somewhere under 2400 is where I bought Ethereum. Um yeah, yeah. There's a bunch of other things that I'm looking to stack up on. Chainlink is my next one. I got some buy orders, or you can see my alert. I got some buy orders around 20. So make sure you hold at least 32 Ethereum for staking. Why 32 Ethereum? So I mean, I'm holding a bunch of Ethereum, but I'm staking it uh, to have a higher percentage. It's a certain number to have a higher percentage. Uh, Not sure why. And I don't know how much Ethereum am I holding. Hold on. What am I holding? Yeah, I'm only holding 8.2 right now. That's all I got. 8.2, man. I wish I could have 32, but I don't have 32. I sold some of it when we hit some highs. Yeah, yeah. But I'll tell you right now, like on QuickSwap, right? QuickSwap is paying shoot. I mean, we'll take a look at it real quick, but QuickSwap is playing this morning. I did where's she at? QuickSwap was paying. I'm doing Matic and give me one sec. I'm doing Matic and Ethereum. It's paying 92% in Quick. Let's see. Here we go. Rewards. Yeah, right here. Whoo, boy. 119. Hold on. Let me get that in red. So, hey, those are you guys that I talked about it this morning. Look at that, bro. 119 for Ethereum and Matic. Bro, awesome, man. If you got 36 Ethereum, great, bro. That is awesome. Yeah, no, I sold quite a few. I'm still holding a lot of my Bitcoin, but yeah, congrats, man. Yeah, yeah. Ethereum and Matic, man, 120% right now. So I know I talked to you guys, those guys. You had Matic at 3 cents. Yeah, I've been holding Matic for a while, man. I've been holding Matic for a while. I'm staking it on here. I'm staking it on here. What's the other one? And if you guys are on Kraken, so Kraken is for Kava, right? For Kava, Kraken is paying 20% for Kava. So and then of course for Dot on Kraken, it's doing I think 12%. So if you're doing single source, so and then of course everyone should know. I mean, if you don't, I would be buying. So I this is why I don't have a lot of my Ethereum anymore because I have bought Superbid. I've been buying Superbid for a while. But if you do Superbid in Uni, it's 160, it's 80 and 80, right? So I've staked. I have a lot in Superbid and I have a lot in Uni. So I'm making every day. I'm making a lot of Superbid on it. But yeah, staking's where it's at, man. Yeah, staking is where it's at. So yeah, like cryptos. Yeah, I'd love for them to keep coming lower, man. Yeah, I unfortunately got into Ethereum late. I bought it back for five. What did I buy it at? I bought it at uh 588 or 558. That's what I bought it at. So I bought Ethereum at 558 back in December. So I didn't get a lot, and then of course I sold when we hit 4,000. I sold quite a few of it, and then I just reinvested when we came down here. But yeah, staking's where it's at. 1inch right now. If you go to 1inch network, um, I am staking. There's another really good. Let me see. So I am staking SHIB and where is it? SHIB and Ethereum. Yeah, here you go. 64%. Right here, 64% SHIB and Ethereum is what I'm staking. But yeah, there's tons of stakes, man. You can definitely make that's where I'm making all my money on crypto. Even I'll tell you right now, even when my crypto drops, I'm still making decent money on it. So, uh, which one do you think have more future? I mean, like, listen, when it comes to cryptos, you got to understand that you have your large caps, right? You've got your mids, and you got your small caps. So your small caps like Anchor, right? Where is it? Anchor, Engine, um, you know, shoot, Loop, right? All these small caps are the ones that you just throw a couple $100 every time into it. And if one of them turns into a mid cap, you've made a significant profit. On your mid caps, I mean, your large caps are all the basic ones, right? BTC, Ethereum, ADA, XLM, all your large caps. I mean, if you didn't get in early, like for me, XRP, I bought a lot at 23 cents is where I'm in at, you know. Yeah. Yeah, cool, man. Cool. Um, yeah, your large caps are the ones that you want to make sure that those are the ones that you can count on. The mid caps are definitely the ones where I'm starting to invest a lot of money. ICPs at a really good price. Um, my next push is, like I said, I'm going to pick up some more Link. Um, I mean, Matic, I bought Matic, I bought Matic on that drop on Sunday, the 23rd. I bought it right in here. So I am waiting. I got another order. So I did buy out of this accumulation a while ago, around 30 cents. I sold when it hit 250. I sold half of what I own. And now I'm looking to see, I have a major buy order sitting at 40 cents. If we can get down there, I just don't think it's going to happen, but whatever, if it does, great. If not, it is what it is. RSR. I don't have RSR on my list, man. What is RSR? Let's see. RSR. Hold on. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. It's coming into a nice little buy area too. It tapped right into this reaccumulation. Yeah, it tapped right into it. I like that. Yeah, the one thing I've been playing around with is BRG. So I've just been playing this stupid thing. Like it's got some upside potential, but just the short-term moves, man. I've been making so out of this accumulation, this was and actually I cashed out right at 40 cents. This was 227% I made, sold half of it, came back into my buy area. I bought here and I was up 100%. So I sold some of it. I was looking to take it to 30 cents, but yeah. What are my partial targets on Anchor? I'm not partialing out on Anchor. I'm gonna hold Anchor until we get a big push on it. So like if we can get it in the neighborhood of like 50 cents, that's where I'll start partialing out. But yeah, everything else, I'm like I said, I'm planning. I've got like a 5-year plan. I'm holding what I have a lot for like 5 years. That's kind of what my goal was with XRP, with all that other stuff. So, who will be a good broker for indices? So I can tell you that for me, because I'm a U.S. resident, I cannot use. So my forex broker is Awanda. I can't trade CFDs in the US. So for me, if you're in the US, I use for indices, I trade with two people. I trade with FX Choice, which is a regulated broker. However, if you don't have FX Choice already, you can't join with them because they no longer take US residents. And then the other thing I do is I have a TD Ameritrade account that I trade futures on. And that's what I trade, like the ES Mini or the YM, stuff like that. But some of my buddies trade with KOT Forex. It's an unregulated broker, but they have really low spreads. So that's something you may want to try out. Libertex swap is very well. What are they paying? Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't care about the swap fees because I just claim that on my taxes anywhere. For me, it's all about the spreads. Spreads is what makes it. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, for me, like I said, for me, I don't mind the swaps because it's just a tax write-off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But cool guys, listen, I mean that's pretty much all I had, you know. Yeah, definitely crypto. I'll tell you, man, I'm happy to buy the dips, you know. I have a lot of investments in crypto. Um, and I could tell you even on the lot, like I said, even on the losses, like that I'm making, because I'm in drawdown on some of this stuff. I don't care. I'm cost dollar averaging in. But just on the staking alone, I'm making, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, every 90 days, I'm making, a good portion of money out of what I'm holding. So yeah, that's for long-term trade is important. Um, you want to hold it for some years. Yeah, but why? So let me ask you this: if you're going to do that, why not just open up a futures account and you don't pay swap on a futures account? Why trade it on a margin account? Because the margin account is going to kill you, no matter what the swap fee is. You know, uh, yeah, yeah. You want to trade it on the future side. You just have to understand that. Well, I'll tell you right now, if you're going to hold it for some years, you're not going to be able to, because the futures they do it in contracts, and a contract expires every 3 months. So you're not going to be able to do it on the future side. If you're going to do it like that, then you either need to do like an investment through a mutual fund. So like if you're going to do S&P, it's like QQQ is the S&P a where is it? Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to get too crazy, but it's like if you want to do it like that, then do it through a mutual fund if you're going to hold it for some years. Because I'll tell you right now, I mean, what happens, God forbid, you're with a broker and a year and a half into your open trade, that broker changes their CFD contract, which they are going to, changes their CFD contract. And I mean, that can great, if any of you guys are trading US oil, when the big crash happened last year, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You'd be up quite a bit of money, and then the next day, your swap fee was, in my case, it was almost $20,000 was my swap fee because it changed from the expiring contract to the new contract. So it's just not, for me, it's not worth it. How do you manage the risk of the indices with the spread? How do you manage risk with the spread? You just add your spread to your, so if you're like, so on my broker, S&P ranges from 4.4 to zero point 0.6, which is zero point 0.4 points to zero point 0.6 pips. I'm sorry, 6 points. So if my stop loss is 2 points, I just add, 0.6 to it. So 2.6. So if my entry is 3,200 on a sell, and my stop loss is 3,205. I just make sure I add 2.6 points to the 3,205, which would be 3,207.6 is my stop loss. On the buy side, it's the opposite. So if my entry is 3,200 and my stop loss is 31, like 95, I need to make sure I add 2.6 to my buy entry. So 3,202.6 is my entry based off of that. So hopefully that answers it, man. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's so guys, that's pretty much all I got. It's been fun. I I'll catch you guys later. If you guys definitely you know one of the things I talked about last week was that the second week, the week preceding NFP week is always my biggest week. So I'm very, very eager to kind of catch something this week. We'll see how it plays out. Patience is everything. And yeah, from there, I'll catch you guys later, man. Enjoy.